Today will probably be one of the largest days for crypto in history. We're going to talk about so much in this video, and I hope to provide you not only valuable information, but alpha based on this information. We're going to hit the biggest part first, which is Trump signing the order, the policy to not allow CBDCs. We're going to talk about exactly what that means and how that affects everything, because to me, out of everything just mentioned, that's probably the most bullish news yet. We also have a couple more things that were just announced today. The second one is Trump signs another executive order to make a crypto asset stockpile. We're not only going to talk about that, we're going to look at what we can speculate on what's going to go into the stockpile, because this is going to be more than Bitcoin. And then third, lastly, newly elected Senator Cynthia Lummis, the new chair at the Senate Banking Subcommittee on Digital Assets, is pushing for legal framework for digital assets and strengthening the US dollar with a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now that's something that she is pushing for, not something that is for sure. That's what a lot of people are talking about right now. But with all that being said, let's look at why this information matters so much and give some alpha along the way. I'll give you the short answer first, which is what I posted earlier today on Twitter. And that's basically with the signing of CBDCs not being allowed, the government has to play the game fairly. So they cannot control and make their own digital dollar, which was a huge concern regarding all crypto, particularly Bitcoin. Michael Saylor was questioned on this various times throughout all of his interviews. And finally, the nail in the coffin with this is this can no longer be the case. This is a huge win for decentralization, and I'm going to share a longer post with you to explain how. Shout out to Vo on Twitter for this. I'm not going to read it exactly as it is. I'm going to kind of summarize, but she basically talks about how CBDCs were just banned in the United States. So the TLDR is kind of what I just said. Centralized banks will not have control over crypto. CBDC stands for Central Bank Digital Currency. This legislation officially prevents the U.S. government and plus the Federal Reserve from having centralized control over any crypto. The government will be forced to support stablecoins such as USDC and cryptocurrencies on open and fair market versus launching their own tokens. This forces them to buy the same way everyone else does, no shortcuts. The reason why this is bullish is because they have to buy from you, they have to buy from me, they have to buy fair market. They can't just go another way and cut some corners and do their own thing. So she gives kind of the even a further TLDR of this. Theoretically, this opens up the potential for the US dollar to be backed by BTC, further decentralized of both crypto and the U.S. banking system, the U.S. government buying our bags, which is what I just said, government support for existing cryptocurrencies, which we've already seen, and support for U.S.-based companies like Solana and Ripple, because those are both U.S.-based. I think Abstract's going to be as well, because Pudgy Penguins is U.S.-based. Ethereum is not U.S.-based, although I do hope it's, piped up in all this other stuff. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So I think the CBDC is a huge weight off the back. By the way, I'm going to talk about exactly what I think the market's going to do today, for the next few weeks, and for the next few months based off of all this news, because you might be watching this video and be like, why is crypto dumping right now? I'll explain that at the end of the video. So as I mentioned, Trump signed for a stockpile reserve. This not only means that they might be accumulating more crypto over the next few years, this means that they're probably not going to sell the crypto that they seized because they're doing a stockpile reserve. Bully breaks it down in this post that it does two things, and this Lummis is which we kind of are going to talk about also later in this video. The one that was elected chair also talks about this. It stops the government from selling all the 207,000-ish Bitcoin it already has, and sets the stage for Congress to order the U.S. government to buy more Bitcoin. And that's what he brings up that Lummis was kind of alluding to. So other governments outside the U.S. also might follow suit on this. This is huge news. So what crypto could possibly be in this digital stockpile? ICO Beast says possibly the ones that World Liberty, who was involved with the Trump family and launching their own DeFi platform, is talking about, which is pretty laid out for us already. Now, this isn't guaranteed. I don't want anybody to go buy these just in, as a guarantee, but they bought $47 million in ETH, 47 million in wrapped BTC. 4.7 million in Aave, 4.7 million in Link, 4.7 million in Tron, TRX, 4.7 million in ENA. So that's just a guess. That's just a guess on getting started, but I think it's very good groundwork of where to be looking right now. Lastly, before we go into market predictions, this was what was said by digital asset Senator Cynthia Lummis. Digital assets are the future, and if the United States wants to remain a global leader in financial innovation, Congress needs to urgently pass bipartisan legislation establishing a comprehensive legal framework for digital assets that strengthen the US dollar with a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I am humbled by my colleagues have placed their trust in me to chair this historic subcommittee and look forward to shepherding bipartisan legislation to President Trump's desk this year that secures our financial future. That is by Cynthia Loomis. Again, just pushing for healthy regulation, pushing for a possible strategic Bitcoin reserve, which is absolutely crazy that we're even talking about this right now. So what is all of this going to do to the market? Well, here's my predictions. This is my free Telegram chat, by the way, which you can find in the description of these videos, where I was posting this news in real time. You can see a lot of it, like the actual prohibition central bank digital currencies, the CBDC announcement. You can see the Senator Cynthia Loomis announcement, everything else. So this is what I posted earlier regarding my personal take on all of this. I think that we don't know short term. Some of these policies might take 6 months to implement, so we could definitely chop and trade sideways or even drop during that period, or people could be buying on this news and continue to buy. So without leaving you hanging with I don't know, I do have pretty specific strategies in place for myself. I'm going to continue to trade the trenches, these meme coins that I make videos on all the time, these AI coins, these narrative coins, these hype coins. I'm going to trade those a lot. I'm going to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible because I am just super long-term on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I'm not buying Bitcoin to sell or flip. Pretty much everything else, I will hold some bags, but I am not 100% attached to. So I own a good amount of Solana, AVAX, Ethereum, even really Cardano at this point, a lot of like bigger alts. And once those hit new all-time highs, if they do in the next few months, I'm going to start clipping like 25% clips out of them. Like I said, I'll still stay in some of them long-term, but this will be my profit-taking model. I have some conviction plays I'm also going to do, like Pengu, UFD, Magic Eden, and many more. I'm still in the Ordinals ecosystem. I'm still building in this, but these are some just like loose plans for the next 6 months for me, just to set realistic expectations. I'm not saying that upon all of this news that Bitcoin's going to be 150K or 200K tomorrow. I still believe very strongly that can happen before the end of the year. With all that being said, this was a different video. This wasn't a meme coins. This wasn't whatever. I don't even know what kind of numbers that this video is going to perform. It's probably not going to do great. But if you actually made it to the end of this video and this was a helpful video for you and you want to see more of these, let me know down below.